Do you remember Sea of Thieves? Yeah, you probably do. Released in 2018 by Rare on the Xbox, it became one of Microsoft's most successful original IPs with over 40 million players. With all that said, do you really remember Sea of Thieves? And more importantly, is it worth revisiting? The first thing you'll notice about the game is the visuals. This game has a simplistic yet beautiful art style. Everything from the beautiful nighttime skies to the breathtaking sunrises to the storm clouds looming in the distance. Even the water looks stunning. And for a game whose map looks like this, it should. Character models are stylized, but I don't really like them. I feel like everyone either looks like Captain Knuckles in his prime, or some kind of drowned mammal. That said, the character models fit within the world, and after a while they might not grow on you, but you'll definitely stop noticing. Games live and die on content. Games who overpromise or don't deliver rarely, get it? Rarely? Sorry, I'll stop. Don't deliver rarely make it into the gaming industry. There are a few exceptions, like Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky, who, after a terrible launch, managed to foster a community and make truly amazing games. And it's in this category that I put Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves launched in 2018 to bare-bones content and an unrewarding gameplay loop. You have three choices, or activities at least, at launch: the Gold Hoarders, Merchant Alliance, and Order of Souls. On the surface, sounds great. Lots of islands to explore, 3 ways to play. How would you feel if I said each one was a different type of fetch quest? Gold Hoarders, you get a quest. Sail to an island, get some required object, and return to sell it. In this case, it's usually buried treasure, or a vault. And sure, that sounds relaxing, but maybe you want to be a merchant lord. Something like that. So you do a Merchant Alliance mission. You set sail, go to an island, collect a required object, usually like catching pigs, catching snakes, or delivering a box, and return it for a reward. Okay, so let's say you don't want to be a delivery boy or a treasure hunter. Well then, the Order of Souls will sate your needs for swashbuckling. Set sail, go to an island, and fight skeletons. Kill the boss and sell their skull. So it boils down to another go place, do task, grab treasure, and leave mission. Okay. But what happens once you sell all that glorious treasure? Well, what's a pirate without any gold? And what's a pirate going to spend his gold on? Well, that brings us along to cosmetics. Cosmetics is pretty much the only thing to spend your money on. Sure, you can buy supplies instead of finding them, or you can buy a ship instead of getting one for free and selling things more conveniently or naming your ship. But let's be honest, you're dropping some serious gold on drip. You can't look poor on the 7 seas, can you? You can pimp out your wardrobe, trick out your ship, you can even get a pet. Get gold-plated weapons, even an accordion. Only for a very reasonable... Okay, so the prices may be a little high, and you don't want to spend all that time searching for treasure and fighting skeletons. You want to live up to being a real pirate. That brings us right along to PvP. PvP is a skill in this game, like many others. The combat can range from extremely simplistic and borderline sleep-inducing to being killed, your ship sunk, and all the treasure gone in less than 3 minutes. There's a plethora of weapons to be used and explored, like a blunderbuss, a shotgun equivalent, Eye of Reach, which is like a sniper, and the classic cutlass. Throwables like blunderbombs, firebombs, and throwing knives are instrumental in sinking or defending your own ship. Most PvP in the game is a combination of griefing and actually stealing. It is called Sea of Thieves after all. There have been times where I don't have any treasure and I don't fight back, and I just get killed repeatedly, and eventually my ship gets sunk. But there's also been times where I'm the aggressor, or there's an actual battle, where I fight hard to retain what loot that I've gotten, and sometimes I win, and sometimes the last hour was for nothing. Sea of Thieves hasn't been praised for much, especially on release. but one thing that it's frequently been praised for is its PvP, and that is definitely earned. Sea of Thieves has had many updates over the years, and make no mistake, touted as a game as a service, this was intentional. The game has received many updates. One thing constantly criticized was the lack of a story mode. Tall Tales and other similar quests were added to Sea of Thieves to provide a narrative and structured story to the game. I soloed one, and I can say that it was quite the improvement from sailing around aimlessly to a bunch of empty islands. They've added more factions, like the Reaper's Bones if you enjoy PvP, or the Hunters if you enjoy fishing. There's a lot more content than there was at launch, and for this, I'm grateful. Sea of Thieves was the first game from Rare in quite some time. It's a beautiful game with a vast, if empty, world. I reflect on what the Act Man said about it a few years ago. It's the best game ever for the first 30 minutes. Sure, if you're playing alone, that's still pretty true. It's a lot of repetition, going from point A to point B. But if you view it like that, you're discounting one of the biggest pros this game has, the social nature of it. Whether you're with friends, searching for treasure, fighting ghost ships, dealing with random encounters like krakens, megalodons, griefing your friends is really fun too. The game becomes so much more than what it is by itself. They sold it on a make-your-own fun premise, which is admittedly flawed. I think that they've learned from this and have added so much more to the game. They've given you a vast sandbox for you and your friends to plunder and explore to your heart's content. Sing sea shanties with your friends 1 minute, sink a galleon the next, defend your crew from a kraken a moment after, and explore a sunken ship. This game has grown and still fosters a decent player base for a game that came out nearly a decade ago. With all this said, I leave you with the question: do you remember Sea of Thieves? Thank you so much for watching. This was the first video on here and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first video on here and I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment below on what you would like to see next or your thoughts on Sea of Thieves. Anyway, that's all for today, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.